Did you know that the beer you might enjoy on a Friday night is one of the oldest drinks ever made by humans? I'm not talking about a few hundred years ago. Archaeologists have found traces of brewing that go back a staggering 13,000 years. That's right. Our ancestors were likely sipping on some form of beer long before the pyramids were even a blueprint. So, how did this ancient concoction evolve into the global phenomenon it is today? Let's pour ourselves a glass of history and find out. Our story begins in ancient Mesopotamia, with the Sumerians. For them, beer wasn't just a beverage, it was a gift from the gods. They revered a goddess named Ninkasi, the patron deity of brewing. They even wrote hymns in her honor, which doubled as recipes, carefully inscribed on clay tablets. These weren't just poems, they were the world's first brewing manuals. They described the process using bread called bapir to create a thick, nutritious porridge-like beer. It was a dietary staple, providing essential calories and nutrients. It was so important that it was even used as a form of payment for laborers. Imagine getting paid in beer. Not a bad deal, right? From Mesopotamia, let's journey west to ancient Egypt. Here, beer, or heket, as they called it, was absolutely central to daily life. It was consumed by everyone, from the pharaohs down to the workers building the Great Pyramids. Like the Sumerians, the Egyptians saw beer as a fundamental part of their diet, often safer to drink than water from the Nile. It was a source of nourishment, a social lubricant, and it also played a significant role in their religious ceremonies and burial rituals. They believed beer was essential for the afterlife, so they placed jars of it in tombs to ensure the deceased had a refreshing drink on their journey. The Egyptians had different types of beer, some sweet, some spiced, showing an early flair for a variety that any modern craft beer enthusiast would appreciate. As we move forward in time, we arrive in medieval Europe. During this era, brewing largely moved out of the hands of specialized brewers and into the home. It became a domestic chore, primarily handled by women, known as alewives, or brews. They would brew batches of ale for their families and often sell the surplus to neighbors or from small taverns run from their own houses. The ale they made was thick, nutritious, and a crucial part of the medieval diet, often referred to as liquid bread. However, this ale had a major drawback. It spoiled quickly, usually within a few days. It was sweet and heavy, lacking the bitter bite and preservative qualities we associate with modern beer. A revolution was brewing, and it would come from an unexpected place. The game changer came from within the quiet walls of monasteries. Monks, with their dedication to study and craft, began to systematize and improve the brewing process. They had the resources, the land to grow grains, and the time for experimentation. And it's here we meet a truly remarkable figure, Hildegard of Bingen. This 12th century German abbess was a writer, composer, philosopher, and a keen observer of the natural world. In her writings on medicine and nature, she was one of the first to extensively document the benefits of using a particular flower in beer, hops. She noted that adding hops not only imparted a pleasant bitterness that balanced the sweetness of the malt, but, crucially, it also acted as a preservative. This was the pivotal moment. The antibacterial properties of hops meant that beer could now last longer, be stored, and be transported over greater distances. This single innovation, the widespread adoption of hopsus, the final key ingredient that transformed ancient ale into the beer we recognize today. The bitterness cut through the sweetness, creating a more complex and refreshing flavor profile. The preservation qualities allowed beer to become a commercial product, traded far and wide, spreading from Germany across Europe and eventually the entire world. From a 13,000-year-old gruel to a divine Sumerian gift, a staple for Egyptian pyramid builders, and a homebrew perfected by medieval monks. The journey of beer is as rich and complex as its flavor. So next time you raise a glass, give a little nod to Ninkasi Hill and the thousands of years of history swirling inside. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this dive into history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories. Cheers.